Hello, wise humans. This is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com and talking with you today about something really important. The idea is, how can we best enter New Earth's golden age? And what are we learning from those who lead the way? And who would those be, actually? Another question. Well, this is all on my mind to a large degree because I was involved in a recent CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, event, part of our Oneness Retreat weekend in Crestone, Colorado, part of StarWorksUSA.com with Paula Harris, and Julian Shamroy was there also. I was leading the CE5 event that happened on Saturday evening at the end of August. It was the retreat happened August 22nd through the 24th. And that Saturday, we went out to some property it's very high. It feels like the American Himalayas, where usually you can see the stars at night. That night it was raining. There was thunder and lightning. But we know from experience that when we gather in a circle with a shared intent to invite interdimensional beings, they come, and always there's a big circle that usually opens right directly overhead, where we can then see the stars, which we did for the whole time we were there. The circle opened up immediately the way it does. I think we're getting assistance from the interdimensional beings, and then ourselves. This is something people can do. So that was happening, and we got to see the usual kinds of very distant lights. I felt the loving presence of interdimensional beings at the time the clouds opened. I really felt they were there with us. Some of us were saying arigato and we love you, thank you, we love you, in Japanese and in English. Some of us were meditating silently. That's the more standard approach for the CE5. But in any case, we did get a lot of indications that we were having our invitation answered. And one person asked if I'd like to use a laser pointer. I politely declined, saying I don't want to shine a light in someone's face. But as soon as I said that, a woman nearby said, "Oh my gosh, they're shining a light at me." So it was really cute. Instant too. It's very playful. I think a lot of people notice that about these sorts of events, that we are greeted with the energy that we bring. So we're bringing gratitude and love, and we receive that back very much. Big sense of humor and fun as well, and seeing some of the figure eight stuff. The other thing that I noticed was that there was something I'd seen the night before when we were meditating. It also had been raining, and I'd seen in my mind's eye that I would see a red craft behind clouds. And that's exactly what we did see, and I've painted a watercolor of it. So there we are. The Sangre de Cristo Mountains are silhouetted in the background. That red vehicle up there, that's front over on the left side of the page there. Maybe it's to your right. Anyway, that ship is in red, was the sort of the focal point where lightning was coming off of that ship down toward the ground, also off to the side, like there was an invisible ship or something. Strange kinds of lightning going off horizontally like that. But I really felt that the presence of that ship, that craft, was very lovingly placed as well, not to be terrifying or intimidating in any way, but just to be present at a comfortable distance for us to feel like, oh, there they are. And later, one participant got a photograph that just looks like a big red blur. A lot of us saw the red craft. A few of us saw that it followed us in our cars as we were going back home afterward. So that was really amazing and beautiful, and to me it felt like a presence of interdimensional beings and telepathic awareness, real connection, real love, and just that relationship that I so frequently talk about when I'm discussing the idea of Rev humanism as another option other than transhumanism. So instead of bringing technology inside of our bodies, we can instead work with what we've been naturally, organically graced with, blessed with, given. So about a week after the Crestone, Colorado event with the CE5, I went on a road trip up north to visit the Pacific Northwest, see family, enjoy nature. But the unexpected thing there is I met more interdimensional beings, not intending to at all. So it was a big surprise. It was just part of something happening during that visit. one of the nights we were there, I was talking to one of the other people staying at the place with me, and she asked me, well, she said the word Bigfoot. As she said that, she was looking at me. I was looking off to the distance of acres and acres of nothing but forest and these mountains heading toward, that's looking north toward Canada. This is Lake Whatcom. It's huge. It's just covering the whole distance of this picture. But I saw an orb that flashed for about 1 second as she said the word Bigfoot. And then I asked her, did you see that? And she said, what? So I described it. And we were silent and looked, and nothing showed up right away. One of us started talking again. We're both talking. Somebody, I don't know who, said interdimensional. And then there was another flash of light. This time it held for about 2 seconds. And she said, I saw that. So that was pretty amazing. And then on a following evening, we'd watched a movie and we're talking animatedly about the movie inside the house and outside the window. And again, there's no road there. There are no cars, no people. But it looked like, to the other person, like there was a singular car headlight shining in the room at us. And as we talked about things related to consciousness and human possibility, good things, the room would grow bright with light. And if we talked about the movie that we weren't so thrilled about, because it was very materialistic, it was the Barbie movie, which I had not seen until then. So then the lights would dim. Nothing bad about the movie, but there's something about that consciousness which apparently is not so thrilling to these beings, these interdimensional beings. On one morning, it was the morning right after the lights showed up that we first noticed with Bigfoot and interdimensional, I was having tea on the deck with some of the others, and I noticed a fragrance, a scent, that reminded me of our family dog who'd passed away about 10 years ago. And to me, because that musky, he had a very musky fragrance, which I intentionally, when he was alive, I would hug him even though he needed a bath, quote unquote. I liked to know that the dog I loved, the being I loved, that is his fragrance. I wanted to remember that. So as soon as I got this telepathic query with the scent, my first immediate response to it, which they were noticing, was family. So they're giving me this fragrance mixed with spices and food, and I'm just feeling family, feeling it in my heart. And I instantly got back this huge telepathic hug, family. And I was asking, who are you? And they responded, forest people. So those are the only words I really picked up from them. Otherwise, it was mostly telepathic knowingness that these are guardians for the earth, guardians for nature. I've continued to be in touch with them. Some other things happened, including sounds. They were, in the daytime, making a sound. I'll do my best. They do it deeper and better. I'll do like that. For them, it sounds like a log hitting a tree. But it was not a log hitting a tree, because if it was, I would have seen the tree it was hitting, it would have shaken. No trees were shaking, and it didn't sound exactly like a log. It sounded like what I'm doing, like that. So, and I could feel it in my heart. So it was a very deeply resonant sensation of feeling a connection there. So there's the scent, the sounds, and the sight, and the telepathy. That's 4 things. In addition, I didn't know it at the time, but some of the trees were tied in knots at the top, which I thought was odd. I didn't find it particularly photographic or photogenic, so I unfortunately did not take pictures of it. Now I know better, because I subsequently was guided to pick up a book by, this is Kawani Lapsaritis. He's written 2 books. This one I've not yet read, but my daughter, when I bought the book, she showed me a picture, this one, and she said, is this what you saw? This light in the woods, is that what you saw? I said, yes, pretty much exactly. And so that's why I got that book, because it's showing that there is a connection between these interdimensional Sasquatch and UFOs, and clearly they are interdimensional beings. So back on track to why do we care about all this? Why does it matter? My connection with these forest people, and also the author calls them forest people too, thank goodness, as well as Sasquatch. But these forest people in Washington indicate to me that clearly they are healers. I didn't go into all the details of that, but one of our group had a small injury, and they did definitely respond with healing. That was actually the first thing when I was meditating and sinking energy into the land. I was sharing information about our group, that one of us had a It wasn't life-threatening, but there was an injury that could assist. Some healing would be welcome. And we did receive, that person did receive healing. Also, I noticed that these beings are extremely telepathic. They made a connection with, across great distance. I was in Washington State. They somehow, and as soon as I'd done the family connection, it initiated something. Because other dear friends that I consider to be family, one of my dear childhood friends was not feeling well, unbeknownst to me. I'm taking a break from the internet mostly. And her brother was walking the Camino in Spain. He texted her saying that he was walking the Camino and he saw a tall being holding like a lamp at head level, and then the being vanished, and then the light vanished. And he said, "Do you know what this is?" So she sent that question to me. She didn't know what I was experiencing, and then I didn't know she was sick. And so then I phoned her, found out she was sick, talked about the healing abilities of these forest people. She started feeling immediately better just talking about this and feeling the love and support. And the other thing I'd want to mention is perhaps the biggest gift they have that the humanity can use right now, and that's clearing up the collective subconscious. You know, all of these things that we might not want to manifest that are rattling around in our thought forms in the collective subconscious. And that's quite a lot. I've started noticing it was starting to instantly manifest after I met the forest people. And that's not something I would want to see as every random thought that our conscious collective is coming up with. So there's a lot that they can help with. So that's probably the biggest thing that they can help with. It's huge in my book, because I'd been noticing what I'd been jokingly referring to as the astral. Felt like there was a bar fight happening in the astral, kind of like duck and don't get hit by the broken shards of glass. It's not funny, but it felt like that. As soon as I've connected with these forest people, and I'm noticing that I'm getting much faster manifestation from the subconscious. And like I said, this is not things I would be intending typically. It's a little bit outside of my own energy field. I did ask them to help me and to do a cleanup on aisle 7 in the grocery store. So it's kind of like someone walked through and an elephant walked through and crashed and broke all the bottles. We need help clearing up our collective subconscious. These are not things any human in their right mind would be wishing to manifest for any of us, not to mention all of us. So they can do that kind of gentle, calming clearing at that deep, deep level. And I really welcome that too. So they're healers. They also work with the environment. Our send-off as a goodbye, they didn't wave at us. What they did, I know it was them. It's kind of like you have a dimmer switch with lights in the house. They have like a dimmer switch with weather. They brought in the most gentle, most beautiful rainstorm. It was like I was in a movie set, like it couldn't be real, like Disneyland. The thunder purring, the rain so soft and gentle, the clouds perfect. The feeling is indescribable. So can they do that with weather and show that their heart and their feelings? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm blown away, as you can tell. So what can we learn? Back to my original question. So what do we need to learn? What can we learn as we're entering this new golden age where the telepathy tapes are not just something for certain people? What if it's for all of us? What if we're all becoming instant manifestors from the collective subconscious? What are we able to learn? It's tempting to be fixated on shiny and just wanting the gifts they have. But I would recommend, let's learn from what we're observing. So if we're noticing they're so telepathic, they know when we do a family hug, they suddenly know my whole family, including friends that I consider family, and which ones are sick right then that need healing, who have another family member walking the Camino. And so they can show up like a forest person in the woods, in the forest of Spain at night, holding that same orb of light that I was seeing. And then first the being vanishes, and then the light vanishes. Okay, I'm just blown away by so much of what I experienced. So there's a lot we can learn. I've done my best with my most recent book. I'm doing everything I can to share what we need to know as we move into this new age. Here's a chart from the book. It's on page 155, it looks like. And this is a chart of quantum superpowers, just showing things that are regular, typical, everyday quantum phenomena that are pretty amazing and miraculous. And then their counterparts that provide us with a toolkit very similar to what we're witnessing that the interdimensional friends like ETs and forest people or Sasquatch are capable of doing. So this is an amazing time to be alive. I'm feeling more positive and uplifted and optimistic than ever. It's more than optimism. I just feel like there's a confidence now that I know for sure we're being supported. As we humanity goes forward, it may look challenging, it may look difficult, but when we keep asking the questions we want the answers to, like how good can it get, then absolutely we can get the answers. We also have support, we have help. So we're not alone in this, and we can do things, a lot of things to improve our ability to work with these interdimensional realms and with what I'm calling quantum superpowers, because essentially the Mandela effect could be considered creating from the collective subconscious. So far it's been a little random, like a quantum random walk. It's going in a good direction. The more we ask how good can it get, the better everything's going to be for all concerned, which is my wish. And guess what? We've got friends helping and rooting for us, not just on the sidelines, but right by our side. I've seen it, I'm feeling it, and I'm loving it, and I'm sharing it with you. So there are a lot of things we can do. We can read books about these types of abilities that we are, this is our natural ability. I call it Rev Human just to give us a name for it. So you know it's not going backwards. Rev is like revitalizing, it's reverent, it's kind of it's got a Latin root, so it's kind of like the newness all over again. So it's really feeling a refreshed form of the organic, pure human in our most co-created, perfect sense of what we need to be right now. So we're doing that. We can join these kinds of events that I just had in Crestone. They happen twice a year, and you can find them at starworksusa.com. Also, you can join every Saturday with CE5 wherever you are. And that's a program that Stephen Greer has been popularizing. But even if you're not affiliated with any particular group, you can just go in your own backyard with a pure intention from your heart, because it's all about relationship, just feeling the coherence with yourself and anybody that you're with that you'd like to invite with love and gratitude, interdimensional beings who share the same love for this planet, for each other, and for our future together. So until next time, please keep asking my favorite question, how good can it get? I love you so very, very much. Take care.